Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We're just going to give it another 10 or 15 seconds or so, let people join the webinar and get connected. Give it another few seconds. We'll get going. Okay, great. So firstly, thank you all for joining us today. We're going to be having a look at how intelligent automation and generative AI can help you reimagine the way that your business interacts with and consumes HR. Now, to quickly introduce our speakers today, my name's Leon and I run the solution engineering team at Automation Anywhere. I've actually spent the best part of the last 17 years working with some of the world's biggest brands on digitally transforming HR. And I'm going to be sharing some insights into what the future of HR looks like when intelligent automation and AI can play the role of your strategic partner, as well as looking at some use cases and showing you the power in action with a live demo. Now, I'm pleased to be joined by my colleague, Isabelle Ramaglia, who's our Senior Director of People Experience for EMEA. Isabelle has close to 30 years of experience as an HR professional, and she's going to be sharing some real-world examples of how she's gotten hands-on with intelligent automation and generative AI, and her perspective on how it's improved her productivity and helped her to better partner with the business. Now, it's also really exciting to announce that you'll be meeting 4 new hires that we've made at Automation Anywhere recently. I'm not going to reveal their roles just yet, so you're going to have to hang on to find out a little bit more. Now, please interact with us and ask questions using the Q&A feature within Zoom. We have got a team who are on hand ready to respond during the session. This will also be recorded and made available afterwards. So let's start with a bit of context here, because the demands placed on HR are ever increasing. And with the rise of AI, we're already seeing a big shift in the way that people work, as well as their expectations of what a modern and digital workplace should look like. So for example, most of us are used to using digital assistants in our own personal life. They provide a personalized and engaging experience. And this is exactly what people are now expecting to find when they enter the workplace. In fact, in the World Economic Forum last year, it was discussed that 97 million new roles will emerge from this human technology partnership. And Josh Bersin, who's a well-known HR analyst and thought leader, reported that over the next 3 to 5 years, 90% of the skills that you recruit for today won't be required. And over half the companies that he surveyed felt that the skill shortage is already impacting their business plans. So this means that HR teams need to be adaptable and focus on the skills that complement the use of this new technology, as well as supporting the business to make the same shift. And look, there's no point denying it. This skill shift is daunting, but with 75% of recruitment functions still operating in a very tactical way, and almost half of those companies with vacancies they can't fill, it actually highlights a massive opportunity. By using automation to give HR functions back capacity, and by identifying those future-proof skills and harnessing AI for reskilling, HR becomes not just a problem solver, but a key driver of strategic competitive advantage. And finally, this skill shift isn't just about survival. It's actually about HR leading the charge toward work with more purpose. By automating the tactical work that consumes so much of HR's time and augmenting our workday with AI-powered digital assistants, we actually free ourselves to double down on the skills that machines can't replicate. So HR will become the champions of the very things that set us apart in the age of AI. Now, the true picture of how your HR function is currently performing and how it might actually benefit from intelligent automation and AI lie in your key performance indicators. So looking at metrics such as cost of providing HR per employee, time to recruit, turnover and attrition rates, or employee net promoter scores. Our goal when we work with customers isn't just to resolve some of the pain felt in these areas and automate the transactional workload. We actually want to focus on understanding where you stand compared to industry leaders, and then use intelligent automation and AI to drive transformation. And the results are measurable improvements in each of these key areas. So, do you know how you currently measure up against these industry standards? Or have you already started to embark on a journey to improve them with automation? Let me just share a couple of examples with you where we've helped other businesses to transform their HR operation, and then we'll jump into the how. Kent Community Health NHS Trust, they're actually one of the largest community health providers in England. They have over 5,000 staff and serve a population of about 3.6 million people. They've actually done a great job at working with us to completely transform their HR operation, and they've seen some incredible results. They were able to reduce their time to recruit by over 3 weeks, And that included a reduction in the time it took to complete the pre-employment checks from 30 to 15 days. They're now ranked as best in the country within the NHS for the time taken for clinical managers to shortlist candidates. And that ultimately means that they can get around to providing more patient care quicker. Across the rest of their HR function, they dramatically increased data quality. They're now ranked number 10 out of 285 organizations in the NHS for data quality rankings. Previously, they were 191st. And they've saved over £460,000 in cost saving and released about 30,000 hours in productivity back to the trust. Kent Community Health have been big advocates of intelligent automation, and they've been working really hard to package up their automations so that they can be easily shared across other NHS trusts up and down the country. And another one of our customers, Dell EMC, they're a global leading provider of IT solutions. They have over 120,000 employees, and they were an early adopter of automation. In fact, one of the first to implement it into an HR function. They also started by putting in a suite of automations to manage their entire recruitment and onboarding journey. And given how many people Dell recruited each year, trying to simplify the manager experience and remove a lot of the admin was a key priority for them. They deployed 30 automations in a single year and gained over 85% efficiency from their team. That essentially allowed them to free up recruiters to be recruiters and spend time with both candidates and hiring managers rather than doing transactional admin. Now, their program was so successful that Dell also formed an automation ambassador group to help them socialize automation and its benefits across their entire group. And it completely changed their company's cultural mindset to automation first wherever possible. Now, hopefully you're starting to get a sense for how important intelligent automation and AI is to transforming how we work. And this applies across the entire HR landscape. So before I hand over to Isabelle, who's going to share some of her experiences with you, I'd just like to share a short video that will help to bring some of this vision to life. You're going to see 3 use cases that highlights how we can help you to reimagine the future of HR.
Meet Nadia. She's worked at Automation Anywhere for almost 3 years and manages a small team of professionals in the UK. Nadia has recently been given access to Automation Anywhere's Copilot, her new AI-powered digital assistant. Let's have a look at the day in the life of Nadia and how she's using her new AI digital assistant to improve her productivity. She starts her day off in a meeting with Adam. She's got some great news for him. Nadia is promoting Adam into a new senior position within the team, and this promotion comes with a pay increase. Normally, Nadia would email the HR reward team. They'd do a job evaluation, benchmark the role, and give Nadia a recommended salary increase. This is a very time-consuming activity that can take days and sometimes weeks to complete. With Automation Copilot, Nadia gets instant help from her AI digital assistant. Not only does Automation Copilot do the job evaluation and benchmarking, but it proposes different remuneration options for Adam. Copilot has taken into account Adam's profile, and using AI, it's identified that he is currently motivated by learning opportunities. One of the options Copilot has proposed offers a £5,000 increase to his salary and £5,000 towards courses and a professional qualification. Nadia discusses this with Adam, and he accepts the offer. Nadia's Automation Copilot updates all the key systems, sends out communications, and makes sure the payroll is correct. It's after lunch, and Nadia noticed that her bonus scheme might be incorrect. She asks her Automation Copilot to check and find out what scheme she should be on. Copilot tells her that she's currently on a US sales scheme, but should be on the UK annual corporate scheme. Automation Copilot arranges for that to be corrected, and all the right teams across the HR function are informed. Nadia recently got invited for a day out with her family, so before she signs out for the day, she asks her Automation Copilot to book off a day's holiday. Copilot checks Workday to make sure she has enough entitlement and that none of her colleagues are off on the same day. It auto-approves her holiday and adds a nice reminder into her calendar so her team knows she's out. Automation Copilot with AI can give you instant answers to queries about your policies, products, procedures, or people. Automation Copilot with AI can augment your work with digital assistants, making you more productive.
Okay, well, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're joining from. Leon mentioned how skills and roles are evolving through technology. Let's talk about that a little bit more. In a study that McKinsey conducted last year, they found that 60 to 70% of work done today can be automated. And they predict that we might see half of work done today automated as soon as 6 years from now. So, this move to more automation, is this a scary thought? Where does it leave us? Well, it is a bit scary, but in the same way that when we moved from horse-drawn carriages to cars, work didn't disappear. In fact, it increased with the Industrial Revolution and the use of engines across all areas of life. We won't need less people in this technological revolution. They'll just be doing different things, and I'd suggest far more interesting things that add value to their lives and others. For me, this is about a human-bot partnership where the whole is exponentially greater than the sum of its parts. Are we at risk of losing human connection in the process? I actually think there's an opportunity to strengthen it and for human resources to become more human, more people-centric. So let's get into a little bit more detail and look at some concrete examples. During my consulting days, I spent some time heavily focused on recruitment, and the most time-consuming and boring part was shortlisting CVs. I used to get through about 60 a day. So for just one role, you're looking at anywhere between, say, 1 and 5 days, sifting through CVs, identifying who to shortlist before you've even spoken to a candidate. And often, as is the case today, the volume of applications was so high that you just couldn't get back to everyone, and a blanket message on the job ad would have to do. Well, that's not the case anymore. Please meet Tara.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tara. It's so great to meet you all and be here today.
Thanks, Tara. So Tara's our talent assessment and recruitment assistant, and she takes the drudgery out of the shortlisting for us. In doing so, she saves us days of time and money. She can provide fully personalized, friendly feedback to candidates, which, let's face it, our TA teams would love to do, but they don't always have time to. And she can also suggest alternative roles that candidates may be suitable for. Oh, and she doesn't have any human biases. Tara, you're able to do a lot more for customers. So why don't you tell everyone a little bit more about exactly what you're capable of?
I don't just screen candidates. I've been designed to support the entire recruitment journey with both manager self-service as well as an assisted service for recruiters. Managers benefit by having me by their side right at the start of the journey, such as by using me to help them create a compelling job description in their company's tone of voice. Or after we've run candidate screening, I can provide the manager with interview tips and bespoke questions to ask the candidate, specific to their application. I can then support recruiters by orchestrating the end-to-end recruitment cycle. I can handle the approval process, chase managers for feedback, generate written offers and contracts, and even provide them in the candidate's native language to provide a better experience. Ultimately, they get provided with a 360 view across the entire candidate pool. So, Leon, why don't you show me in action?
I'd love to, Tara. Let's actually have a look at what Tara really looks like. Now, imagine that I'm a recruiter at Wallet App. We're a fictional fintech startup, and since launching an innovative digital wallet 2 years ago, we're experiencing some explosive growth. And to support this rapid expansion, we're embarking on a significant recruitment drive. Now, I'll usually start my day by logging into Workday, which is our ATS, our applicant tracking system. And one of the roles that I'm recruiting for, this senior business analyst, actually had 10 new applicants come in overnight. And look, it's Friday afternoon. I've got a packed day of interviews starting in about 20 minutes, but I really want to get my shortlist over to the hiring manager before the weekend. So I don't want to rush my review of these candidates and then end up providing an unfair or biased assessment. So it's lucky that I've got Tara to support me. She's actually embedded directly into my browser, so I can access her from any application. I've got a list of different automations that I can run, but before we run that candidate screening process with Tara, I'm actually just going to select my candidate pool in Workday. Now, Tara starts by automatically pulling through the job description from Workday, and using AI, she's going to understand the context and requirements of the role that we're looking to fill. Now, she's also asking me to provide a suitability score threshold, which is essentially the benchmark that candidates need to hit in order to progress. Now, I only want to focus my efforts on the top talent, so I'm going to set this to 75%. Now, Tara's going to assess our candidates and compare their skills and experience to the requirements of the role. She's not looking for keywords like traditional screening tools. She's using AI to really understand the context of the role requirements and then assess their applications against it. Now, we can see that 3 candidates have actually scored above 75%. But in order to check that the AI is providing a fair review, I'm going to check out the top candidate, Jasper Starglow, as well as a low-scoring candidate, say Rowan Emberfell. Now, Tara presents to us this detailed overview of why Jasper is a good candidate for the role. We can see that he has all of the required skills and experience and qualifications, so the recommended action is to progress him to an interview. Now, using generative AI, a custom email is going to be crafted. This is inviting Jasper in to interview for that position, and we can always customize this further if we need. Workday gets updated, and then Tara is going to progress us onto the next candidate that we want to review. Now, Rowan scored well below the threshold, and we can see that the summary mentions that Rowan doesn't have the qualifications nor the experience that we require for this role. So the recommended action here is to reject. But instead of just rejecting Rowan, let's talent pool him across all our other vacancies. Again, generative AI is going to craft a custom rejection email referencing the reason why we're not progressing his application. But here we can see that Tara has actually found another role that we're recruiting for, a junior business analyst. And Rowan has scored really highly against it. So we can provide, a better candidate experience for Rowan, even though we're rejecting his application, and hopefully fulfill that other vacancy quicker. Now, Workday is going to get updated with those changes. And then finally, the hiring manager, Lena, is going to be notified via Teams that we've shortlisted a candidate. Now, when Lena clicks on the notification, she can see that Tara is embedded into Microsoft Teams as well. She's provided with the candidate details on the left, as well as some bespoke interview questions that she can ask Jasper that talk directly to his application and the role requirements. So out of the 20 minutes that I had spare, I've managed to shortlist a great candidate, and I've talent pooled another candidate for a different role, leaving me with plenty of time to go and get a drink and prepare for that first interview of the afternoon. And with that, you can see how Tara can streamline the screening process, providing a better experience to candidates, recruiters, and hiring managers, as well as providing a consistent, fair, and unbiased review of every application, making sure I'm only spending my time reviewing the top talent. Back over to you, Isabelle.
Thanks, Leon. So we've mentioned bias a couple of times here. Let's talk about that a little bit more. Many of you will be familiar with this research. 5% of interview decisions are made within the first minute and about 30% within the first 5 minutes of an interview. So clearly there are questions around human fairness. Now, we know that there are concerns around the fairness of AI in recruitment too, and the AI Act, in fact, classes recruitment as a high-risk activity. Now, if AI, like any unsupervised and unguided adult, were left to its own devices, yeah, maybe it would conclude that more men are successful in applying for tech or sales jobs, for example, and so it should concentrate its efforts on male applicants. But of course, we don't leave AI unsupervised, we guide it to ensure above human fairness. What we've done is we build in weighted assessment criteria into Tara, and she uses those to shortlist candidates. Now, cleverly, we're also going to have her collect interview notes as the interview takes place and provide an assessment for us. And with the time that we're gaining with Tara's help, we could go grab a coffee, as Leon just said, but we're actually taking the opportunity to drive up improvements and make our interview process more robust and more structured. So there's always a human in the loop, but Tara does the bulk of the work and advising for us to make sure that our decisions are data, not bias driven. Let's move away from recruitment for a minute and look at another area in HR. And for this, I'm joined by my colleague, Penelope.
Thanks, Isabelle. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to meet you all, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you how AI agents like myself can help you to put AI to work and reimagine how work gets done.
Thanks, Pen. So Penelope is our AI agent. Think of her as a Siri or an Alexa for work. And Penelope has access to all the information that an HR person would, but she can access and process it super fast. Now, the data that she holds is all kept in a confidential repository. And we use this AI-enabled brain effectively to ask questions like, can you create some interview questions for me based on our values and this job description? Or what are the trends in exit interviews this quarter? And what remedial action could we take in response? We're always still going to add our own creativity and thought before finalizing or taking action. But again, a big chunk of the work is already done for us. Penelope, can you tell our lovely audience a little bit about yourself, please?
You want me to talk about myself? Absolutely, Isabelle. This is my favourite part. With my help, you can have streamlined performance reviews and talent assessments that augment your managers with fully automated career development plans for themselves and their teams. You could fully automate payroll and offboarding processes, improving your payroll assurance and avoiding over- and underpayments. Or I can help you to unlock a deeper understanding of your workforce, which leads to better decision-making and an enhanced employee experience throughout everyone's entire journey with the company. So, Leon, why don't you show me in action?
Again, I would absolutely love to. So let's jump over to Penelope. Now, as you saw in the last demo, our hiring manager, Lena, recently invited Jasper Starglow in to interview for that position of a senior business analyst. And Lena sent us over the interview transcript, which we can see over here. Now, I want to use Penelope to analyze that interview and gain some insights to see if Jasper really is the top talent that we want for this position. I'm also going to use Penelope to try and gain some feedback that I can use to coach Lena ahead of her next interview. Now, before we ask some specific questions about that interview, let's just remind ourselves about our company values. Can you remind me what our company values are? Now, Penelope's been trained to know everything about our organization, including our values, but also things about our products, offerings, and even our people. The best part is that Penelope is so quick and easy to train that anyone in your organization can build an AI agent similar to Penny. Great, we've got that reminder now of what our values are and how we demonstrate them. Let's see if Jasper was able to demonstrate any of these values during the interview. I'm also going to upload the interview transcript along with my query. During Jasper's interview for the senior business analyst position, was he able to demonstrate any of our company values? Now, Penelope works alongside Tara, so she already has knowledge about the role that we're recruiting for, as well as Jasper's CV. Now we're going to be adding in that interview transcript to the knowledge base. That also includes information about other candidates, as well as a more broader knowledge about the types of candidates that we've previously hired, so that we can keep things consistent. And in typical fashion with a live demo, things don't go to plan. Let's just give that one more go. During Jasper's interview for the role of a senior business analyst, was he able to demonstrate any of our company values? Now, we'll give that a few minutes to make sure Penelope comes back. What she will do here is she's going to give us a concise summary as to how Jasper was actually able to demonstrate our values. And she's going to break it out into an easy to read format that's similar to the message she sent us previously. Here we go. Now, I want to see whether there were any gaps or concerns that Penelope was able to find that wouldn't make him an ideal candidate. Are there any gaps or concerns you can see that wouldn't make Jasper an ideal candidate? Again, Penelope's going to provide us with a really good overview. And this time she's going to reference both that interview as well as Jasper's CV, along with some specific areas that we might want to dive into during a second interview. Now, Lena also recently interviewed another candidate called River. Let's see how Jasper compared to River during the interview process. How well did Jasper's interview compare to River's? Penelope is going to provide us with her perspective across both candidates in some of the key areas that we want to assess as part of the role requirements, as well as providing her perspective on who she feels the better candidate is. This is going to help us make a more informed decision about who we want to hire. Now, the final stage in all of this is that I want to use Penelope to give the hiring manager some feedback on how she interviews. Referencing both Jasper and River's interviews, what specific feedback would you provide to the interviewer to coach them on improving their technique ahead of their next interview? Now, Penelope is going to provide us with a good structure for how we can provide that feedback, and it's going to be very specific to the interviews. She's going to reference some of the specific questions that were asked, and she's going to highlight where she could have probed further or rephrased her questions. Penelope's knowledge extends across all our HR policies and procedures, even our people data. Now, we can put in guardrails around the types of employee data that she has access to, and more importantly, control who can access that data. And like Tara, her interface can be embedded into any application. You can control her personality, how she interacts with employees or customers, and what automations she can run by herself. And like I said, what data she's exposed to. With that, I'm going to hand you back over to Isabelle.
Thanks, Leon. Moving away from recruitment for a second, a few years ago, we launched a program called TESS, and it was sort of the first of its kind. So TESS does work that was too detailed and vast for people to do. It collates specific feedback on how the manager rates the employee in very specific areas, and this drives our pay and our equity reviews. And then how our employees rate our different currencies of retention. Now, both employee and manager respond to very targeted questions that provide us with rich data in very specific areas that we want to concentrate on. With the help of Gen AI, TESS just got a friend. Please meet Coco. So Coco stands for Career Opportunity Conversation Openers, and we use Coco in EMEA to find out what employees want to do more of, what they'd like to do less of, and what their career aspirations are. For any French HR leaders on the call, this works as our mandatory entretien professionnel in France. Now, the data that we get back is all in free text format. So this allows employees to share whatever they think. So now we have access to information in buckets that we've defined, that's through TESS, and via Coco, all the possible information that employees have in their brains that they're happy to share about their career aspirations, things that we might not have predicted. Last time that we captured the Coco information, I manually analysed the responses. Now I can just ask my AI agent Coco to do it for me. So within minutes, I can have answers to questions like, what is it that people want to do more and less of? Or provide me with a summary of findings by country or by manager. Or for example, what development opportunities are most in demand in EMEA? Can you create recommendations for further support in the employee's career journey? Send a copy to the manager and employee and HR for review, schedule a follow-up meeting in their diaries, and upload a copy of this email to Workday. So as you can imagine, all of this information helps us plan for attrition. It tells us what we need to do for retention. It tells us also which managers do well at motivating their teams and which ones might need support, what type of L&D investments needed, and who might be interested in certain vacancies. So you can see that using free text formats and having access to such broad sets of data means that we're making decisions on much more comprehensive data than was possible before. So as we look to redefine the future of work, I'm focused as an HR practitioner on two areas. One is fulfilling my duty to the C team and to our shareholders. And I see that as making sure that we've got the right people in the right jobs doing the right things. And as we've seen with our technology, data analysis is more thorough, recruitment is significantly faster and better, and team development more targeted. Secondly, because it's not all about the money, it's about looking after people. Now, I think we should be doing this because it's the right thing to do. But if any businesses needed convincing, to quote Richard Branson, if you look after your people will look after your customers. And from the examples that we've shown you today, you can see that we're able to engage with candidates and employees in a much more timely and tailored manner. We're reducing bias. we're freeing up hiring manager and talent acquisition time. And so, ironically, it's the technology that's delivering greater connection with people. And so, when we think about technology advancements in HR, I really think we should turn that around and think about HR advancements that we would like to see leveraging technology. I'm really excited, as you can probably tell, to take our function to a whole new level. I hope you are too. So if you're interested in talking about this a little bit more, maybe explore options for technological change, gather some ideas on what we and other customers are doing. If you want to share some questions, maybe some privacy concerns, we're going to organise a think tank in September for HR leaders to do just that in a confidential collaborative forum. So if you're interested in taking part, you'll receive an email after this webinar. So super easy, just tick the box that says, yes, I'm interested in attending the think tank, and we'd absolutely love to have you there. Back over to you, Leon.
Thanks, Isabelle. Now, appreciate we are coming up on time. For those of you that can still hang on for another couple of minutes while we wrap on, we really appreciate that. So how do we actually achieve these solutions? Well, let's just take a step back for a moment. And if you were to look across your organization, you want to make sure that your business and your employees are productive and efficient. But the problem is that your processes and workflows are not flowing the way they should. The reason behind that is that people and technology are working as siloed units. In fact, according to Harvard Business, they were able to demonstrate that employees have to switch between applications almost 1,200 times a day just to get their work done. So this is why we came up with Copilot and now AI agents in order to solve these problems by embedding intelligent automation and AI directly into your favorite applications, as you saw in the demos today. It's a unique solution where users don't have to change how they work, but we can easily put automation and AI in their fingertips. And as I mentioned earlier on, anyone is able to build an AI agent in an incredibly short space of time. So from the spark of an idea to creating the agent and having it live, providing you with insights and value, that can be done in as little as 2 hours. We actually launched our Copilot almost 2 years ago, and not long after that, other vendors started to come out with their own versions of Copilot. It's actually become more of an industry term than a product name. Now, while these other Copilots have been designed to make their own application silos better, our Copilot's a solution that improves how work gets done across all applications and people. So now you can achieve the solutions that we've shared with you today, as well as many others, with a new AI-powered system of work that can help you orchestrate all of your processes in the most seamless way possible, with governance and security, and deliver it all on a single unified platform. This is what we refer to as the new system of work, where we combine the power of automation and generative AI across every team, every system, every process, with Copilot and AI agents orchestrating it all. Now, if you'd like to get involved, we've got a 3-stage process that we'd love to take you through. And this all starts with a value assessment workshop in order to baseline your performance and identify the value that you're able to achieve. Firstly, we want to understand your performance as a business against your main KPIs. We use our methodology and toolset to assess process performance against industry leaders and benchmarks. And this will allow us to set the baseline and then discuss with you where you want to get to and what you can achieve. The second step is to start identifying opportunities for intelligent automation and AI, and then prioritize them against your objectives and what's needed to improve your performance against those benchmarks and your main value drivers. And then lastly, we put all of this into our platform and jointly build a value roadmap with you. This is what will give you a clear plan to take you from your current state to future state, and you can continue using this tool to track progress. Alongside the value workshop, we'll also look to run a technical validation session where we'll work with your IT and architecture teams to evaluate intelligent automation and AI, including our Copilot and AI agent capabilities. We want to give you the assurance that we can exist within your infrastructure and ecosystem. And then finally, a robust business case is going to be crucial to helping you adopt intelligent automation and AI. So we'll work with you to craft a proposal that details everything from the ownership costs to the estimated value, any quantified benefits, and the adoption and rollout plans. Now, Tara, Penelope, do either of you want to say anything before we wrap up?
Now, before you go, if you'd like to learn more about me and other AI agents for HR,
or you're interested in candidate screening and how I can help you transform your recruitment function,
or if you'd like to join our HR think tank, please reach out to our team when we follow up with you after this session.
Thanks for joining us. Look forward to working with you soon.
Thank you both. Great job today. As Penny and Tara mentioned, we'll follow up with you by email after this session so that you know how you can get involved. But if you're already a customer, please feel free to get in touch with your account executive or customer success manager. And with that, I'd like to thank Isabelle and our AI agents for speaking today, and I want to thank you for joining us. Have a great rest of your day.